Hey everyone, today we're diving into a fascinating study that sheds light on why some people believe in wild conspiracy theories, like the flat Earth theory or the idea that the world is secretly ruled by reptilian humanoids. According to research from Cornell University, published in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, people who buy into these extreme ideas tend to be massively overconfident in their cognitive abilities and significantly overestimate how much others agree with them. The team analyzed 8 studies involving 4,181 participants in the US, who completed various cognitive tasks and estimated how well they performed. Those who scored poorly but thought they did great showed high levels of overconfidence, and this trait was strongly linked to endorsing conspiracy theories, like the notion that the moon landing was faked or that vaccines are part of a government control plot. Shockingly, while only 12% of participants believed in these theories, those who did thought 9 out of 10 people shared their views, a phenomenon called the false consensus effect, which was strongest among the most overconfident individuals. Study author Gordon Pennycook, an associate professor at Cornell, told SciPost that this overconfidence might explain why some people fall down the conspiracy rabbit hole, not because they revel in holding fringe beliefs, but because they're genuinely unaware of how far on the fringe they are. The study suggests that conspiracy believers often have weaker analytic reasoning skills and a strong disposition toward overconfidence, making it tough to change their minds. This has big implications for fighting misinformation, as those most in need of intervention are often the least willing to admit they might be wrong. Now, let's talk about the flat Earth theory specifically. Proponents claim the Earth is a flat disk with the Arctic Circle at the center and a 150-foot-tall ice wall called Antarctica around the rim. They dismiss satellite images, GPS, and decades of space imagery as part of a round Earth conspiracy orchestrated by NASA and other agencies. Some even believe the Earth is stationary under a glass dome, despite overwhelming evidence from the international scientific community, including peer-reviewed astronomical research and photos from space, proving the Earth is a sphere. So, why do these beliefs persist? The Cornell study suggests it's not just about rejecting evidence, it's about a cognitive mindset that overestimates personal insight and assumes widespread agreement that just isn't there. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think about this study or any conspiracy theories you've come across. Let's keep the conversation grounded in facts. Now, building on that eye-opening Cornell University study we discussed last time, published in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin. The research, involving 4,181 US participants across 8 studies, revealed that people who believe in extreme ideas, like the flat Earth theory, which insists the Earth is a flat disk with an Arctic center and a 150-foot Antarctic ice wall, or even wild claims about reptilian overlords, are often characterized by massive overconfidence in their cognitive abilities and a striking tendency to overestimate how many others share their views. These participants tackled cognitive tasks and rated their performance, and those who believed in conspiracies, such as the moon landing being faked or vaccines being tools of government control, consistently thought they performed better than they did, showcasing a clear pattern of overconfidence. The study found that only 12% of participants endorsed these theories, yet believers were convinced that 90% of people agreed with them, a false consensus effect that's particularly strong among the most overconfident. Gordon Pennycook, an associate professor at Cornell, explained to SciPost that this overconfidence, paired with weaker analytical reasoning skills, drives people down the conspiracy rabbit hole, not because they embrace being fringe, but because they're genuinely unaware of how niche their beliefs are. This miscalibration makes it incredibly challenging to combat misinformation, as these individuals are the least likely to question their own views. The flat Earth theory, for instance, persists despite overwhelming evidence, like satellite imagery, GPS, and direct observations from space, because proponents dismiss it all as a NASA-led, round Earth conspiracy, some even claiming a glass dome covers a stationary Earth. The study highlights that this isn't just about rejecting evidence, it's a cognitive issue where overconfidence and a skewed sense of consensus create a feedback loop, reinforcing fringe beliefs. This raises critical questions about how we address misinformation when those most entrenched are so sure they're right and assume everyone else agrees, Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep exploring how to ground these discussions in evidence and reason. Ideas like the flat Earth theory, a claim that the Earth is a flat disk with an Arctic center and a 150-foot Antarctic ice wall, or even secret reptilian rulers, despite overwhelming evidence like satellite imagery and space exploration proving otherwise. The study, involving 4,181 U.S. participants across 8 studies, showed that conspiracy believers not only overestimate their cognitive abilities, often performing poorly on tasks yet rating themselves highly, but also exhibit a false consensus effect, believing 90% of people share their views when only 12% actually do. This overconfidence ties into broader cognitive biases, like the Dunning-Kruger effect, where low competence leads to inflated self-assessment, and confirmation bias, where believers seek out information, like fringe online forums, that reinforces their views while dismissing contrary evidence as part of a round Earth conspiracy orchestrated by NASA. These biases create a feedback loop, making it tough to challenge beliefs, as noted by study author Gordon Pennycook, who told SciPost that conspiracy theorists' weak analytical reasoning skills and unawareness of their fringe status drive them down the rabbit hole. Combating misinformation requires tailored strategies, instead of direct confrontation, which can entrench beliefs via the backfire effect. Approaches like prebunking, exposing people to weakened versions of false claims before they encounter them, can build resistance. Encouraging critical thinking through Socratic questioning or teaching media literacy to evaluate sources can also chip away at overconfidence. However, the study warns that those most susceptible to conspiracies are often the least open to correction, assuming widespread agreement and dismissing dissent. For example, flat earthers reject decades of peer-reviewed astronomical research and GPS data, some even claiming a glass dome covers a stationary Earth. To make progress, we need to foster humility in reasoning and create spaces for dialogue that prioritize evidence over ego. Share your thoughts below on how we can tackle misinformation while navigating these cognitive traps.